So the question is, why are young men deserting the Democratic Party? That includes young black men. Joining us now, the great Texas Congressman Wesley Hunt. Mr. Hunt, Wesley Hunt, welcome back, sir, as always. I tell you one thing for sure. Kamala Harris, I mean, putting everything aside, politics aside and the rest of it, forgiving government loans on a specific basis, almost a color of your skin basis, and suggesting that smoke and pot is a good idea is not a good idea. I mean, right there, just making pot legal, really? That's her solution to what ails young men, black men, brown men, whatever men? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. I just say it out loud. Stupid, stupid, stupid.
It most certainly is. And coming from her, the hypocrisy is nauseating. This is the same woman that when she was a prosecutor, she was locking up black men for marijuana charges like hotcakes. And we aren't buying it. We know that this is a complete lie and all these campaign promises are not going to come to fruition. And they're literally trying to buy the black male vote. But now she's offering black businesses $20,000. And it kind of reminds me of Forrest Gump when he was sitting on the bench and he got that $1 million shot in the buttocks. And what did he say? I didn't see a nickel of that money. I can assure you that these black businesses are not going to see a nickel of that money because she is lying to us yet again. And every 4 years they show up with empty promises to try to steal our vote. And black men are hip to the game.
I think they really are. And the interesting thing is, though, more generally, sir, more generally, you read poll after poll, young men are leaving the Democratic Party. They're leaving the Democratic Party for a lack of economic opportunity. They're leaving the Democratic Party because the Biden-Harris inflation and prices are way too high. They're leaving the Democratic Party because the dream of an affordable new home, the great American dream, seems out of reach. And the other thing is, this is the interesting part, professional economists may rail on about tariffs. We talked about that earlier in the program with the Chicago Economics Club. But the reality is tariffs actually are very popular in the country as long as they're protecting American manufacturing. And young people in particular like tariffs. That's what the numbers show. So what do you make of all that?
Well, President Trump uses tariffs as a negotiating tool to boost our economy in this country. It is a good idea. But young men and young black men and young men across America are getting hip to the game. And what I saw that was very interesting was just last week when Barack Obama descended from Martha's Vineyard to then wag his finger at black men and blame them for not voting for Kamala Harris because she's a woman. I think that's absolutely insulting to people like me. This is not about identity politics. This is about voting for the right person that's going to help out your pocketbook, not about voting for them because of the color of their skin. And what black men now realize is that it was better under President Trump than it is under Kamala Harris. And people like Barack Obama that spends his time mostly around the white Hollywood liberal elites have absolutely no idea what it's like to buy groceries and put gas in his car and live in an economy like this. So therefore, they get to come down and wag their finger at us, but we aren't paying attention to that anymore because we have to live with the disaster that we've seen for the past 4 years. And furthermore, Larry, I don't want anybody voting for anybody based on the color of their skin. I am a congressman in a white majority district. They're not voting for me because I'm black. They're voting for me because of my conservative values and how I feel about this country, my acumen, my education, and my service. That's what this all needs to be about. Let's cut the race out. Let's cut out all the pandering to the black community, and let's get down to brass tacks. It is about the border. It is about the economy. It is about our safety. And that doesn't impact just young black men or young white men or Hispanic men. It impacts every single demographic in this country. That's what we're fighting for.
Well, there's this working class coalition. I talked about it in my riff. There is a working class coalition being put together by Mr. Trump. He started it 4, 5, 6 years ago, okay? He's continuing it in this campaign. I think the popularity of that coalition is one reason why he's doing so well in the polls, okay? I know polls don't vote, only voters vote, but I'm just saying he's having a lot of success here. And the interesting thing about this coalition, the coalition wants a better economy, and it wants a closed border, and it wants stopping all these price hikes. In fact, it would like to see prices come down. I don't see Kamala Harris answering any of those questions. She does not have a solution to the border. She does not have a solution to lower prices. And the only solution she has on the economy, best I can determine, sir, is she wants to spend more and tax more. That's all I see. People have seen that for the last 3.5 years and don't want it. So they're leaving the party. They're leaving the party in droves. Young people leaving the party. Young men leaving the party. Heck, Catholics are leaving the party. Religious, everybody, they're all leaving the party. I'm not sure they're going to even be able to fill out the poll workers on Election Day. That was a joke.
Well, the more people hear her speak, the more people don't like her, Larry, and she has no plan for anything. And I had the opportunity the last couple of days to fly around with President Trump on his West Coast swing to Coachella in Vegas. And I tell you what, he has his finger on the pulse when it comes to working class Americans and what we need. We need lower energy prices. We need to release American energy. We want inflation to get to be under control. It's just these very basic tenets that President Trump is speaking very to the heart and soul into the core of middle America. That's why he's doing so well. And Kamala Harris and Barack Obama and Tim Walz, the only thing that they are speaking to are liberal white elites that care more about gender transition than they care about the average working American. And that's why we are surging in the polls. And I think on November, we're going to have a very, very good day. We are reaching a crescendo at just the right time. People are now paying attention. They know that she has no solutions to any of these issues in our country. In fact, she's the one that supports Joe Biden for the past 4 years, and she's in lockstep with him and continues to be in lockstep with him. I tell you what, this country needs change, and everyone knows that President Trump is here to deliver it.
I'll tell you what, I think you're right, but I'll tell you what else. Pot is not the solution for this country. Anyway,
no.
Wesley Hunt, thank you ever so much, sir. We appreciate it.